What's wrong with Ford? What's going on in Dearborn?
Well, you know, Brian, this is a company that has a lot more questions than answers right now. The biggest question, I think, about this program is, you know, Jim Hackett has been the CEO for 17 or 18 months. So why did it take this long to get started on something like this if it was so necessary? You know, why wasn't this done earlier? People have been, the Wall Street analysts have been viewing Ford as slow and indecisive. And this kind of reinforces that, especially because this program was just announced on Friday. However, the company said the actual cuts are not going to be implemented till the second quarter of 2019, which is 6 more months. And by the way, you know, during that time, if you're one of the more talented, marketable Ford employees, you're probably going to be starting, you'll at least consider looking elsewhere for employment.
Which is a great point and could further damage the company, not only from a morale perspective, but if you're interviewing, you're maybe not focused on your current job. Paul, I'm sure you've followed what happened at GE. As you mentioned, Jim Hackett at Ford's been there not even a year and a half, but I don't know if that matters anymore. Do you think that Ford may pull a GE and cut ties with Hackett even this quickly? Because as we're now starting to see, that timeline and that leash has gotten a lot shorter for CEOs.
Well, anything I said there would be pure speculation. I really have no insight. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me either way, to be honest, Brian. This company has just a lot of fundamental stuff to get its arms around. I mean, it outspent General Motors on product development in the last couple of years. GM's a bigger company, but Ford has less to show for it. So how did that happen, and what's being done to rectify that? The other thing, of course, you know, Ford has gotten a lot of publicity, and fair enough, good publicity, for renovating the defunct, derelict Detroit train station to start a new high-tech office campus there, and that's all fine and good. But then the company's been talking about, well, we're going to use this to take on Silicon Valley. Now, if I'm an investor, that talk kind of worries me. I mean, a company with a credibility problem in its core competencies is talking about taking on Silicon Valley? Well, why don't you put some points on the board, okay, before you start talking like that and start to rebuild your credibility in some ways? So
I would say they lost their focus, but that's a bad car punt. I want to go back to that point you just made, which is this, Paul. You note that GM is a larger corporation, and yet Ford outspent them in much of R&D, research and development, in the past couple of years. Where has that gone? That's from a product perspective. You've got the F-150 and a Mustang and a bunch of other cars you probably can't name. What do they need to do to get back to that, as you say, core competency?
Well, cost discipline. It's in 2 words. I mean, basically, that's what, you know, car companies have to be creative, but they also have to exercise cost discipline. You know, Ford historically has had terrific financial controls, but somehow the balance seems to have gotten out of whack with product development. And that's probably what these salary cost cuts are about, frankly.
Yeah, I don't know if the Flex or the Expedition is selling that much.